Right, so you probably remember a long time ago that I did a video of, well, quite a few different ones, but some of the portable snare traps, well, that's what they're called. They're in a certain book. I think it's Camp Life and the Tricks of Trapping or something like that. There's a couple in there, and they're called portable snare traps. But the only thing is with two of them is you make your trap mechanism and then you have to tie it to a tree or tie a bent branch to it. So the only thing is you may not find a tree in a suitable place to bend over to make the spring mechanism. So I thought of this idea, and the spring mechanism is literally a spring. See if I can just set it up like this, and we'll do it outside. So I'll do you a close-up as well in a minute. So we've got a normal spring on the end of a bit of wood. This one gets pulled down and get it in there. In that notch like that. Your snare. I may not be able to do this one-handed like this or in my hand, but if not, I can still show you the mechanism, and then we'll do it properly in a minute. Do it outside. And your snare hangs roughly a bit better than that in front of it. Animal comes, you know, comes in, triggers this, and that's how it works. In the other book, this part was a bent stick. So this is the same as the usual one, just a stick or whatever set in so it moves up and down, a notch here and a notch here, where this one sits between. And then up the top we've got the snare. You could attach onto this a brass snare if you want. It's entirely up to you. A couple of things I would recommend if you're going to make one of these. Right, so hole drilled at this end, string going through. One end is your kind of toggle part, and then the other end it just comes through to the snare. You could just tie a small loop and put a brass snare on. And this has just got knots in place to hold it. Now the spring part, this, I say it isn't easy to attach. It is easy, but it's surprising how much things do fly off. So what I've done is I've drilled a couple of holes, and then these springs I'd bent loops on them. You don't need to do that, but you do need to. You could either put staples through it, you know, strong staples, put a nail in it, bend it over, whatever. Right, now the only other things I would say, so you've got your trap, you've caught the animal, right? Now this is going to be hammered into the ground, but that may not be strong enough. So what you'd want to do is hammer, either get a massive great long stick to hammer it in the ground, or hammer this in the ground to there or wherever, and then tie this with some strong string to another stake, or tie it to a tree or something, so if this did get pulled over and pulled off, it'd still be attached. Now the other thing is this part. Now if you was worried that this was going to come off or they could somehow snap it, what you would do, you would drill a hole here and here and put a really strong bit of string, loosely tie it here and tie it here. So if this snapped, or a bit of wire, So if this snapped, it would still be attached by something else. Or alternatively, you could have your snare, so it's like this, but running down the side and attached lower down to a more solid part. So if the spring broke, your trap would still, the animal would still be connected by the snare, which runs all the way down to a lower part. And it'll still work. Right, so we'll set it up and then try it outside. So that's the portable snare trap using a spring. So I'm probably going to see if I can set up some other traps using an actual metal coiled spring as the engine or the trigger mechanism, whatever. Well, not the trigger, but the thing that makes it work. You'd be surprised if I get my hand caught. Be surprised, how much spring that's got in it. Right, so cheers for watching. I'll see you later.